I didn't even know this episode existed. But we're talking about Fire from Olympus from Batman the Animated Series right now. Hello friends, welcome back to the show. So glad to see you. Thank you for tuning in. If you're new here, I'm glad that you came and stopped by. And be sure to hit the subscribe button so that you can see all the episodes as they come out. Today we're talking about an episode that I don't remember watching, I don't remember hearing about, I don't remember anything about it except for one shot at the end. And we'll talk about that coming up right after I do my 60-second rundown of the episode before the Joker bomb goes off. This one I might have a chance at. Truly, I might have a chance. We'll see if I can do it. A man is supposed to be meeting up with Commissioner Gordon in this dark and scary alley, and he does it because he's kidnapped by a couple of thugs, and it turns out that there's a new crime boss in town that's been trading, helping the mob trade goods on the black market, and it turns out to be the CEO of this huge corporation, Maximilian Shipping, I think it is. And then we go to the top of this really tall building where he has built his own Mount Olympus, and he believes that he is the Greek god Zeus. And so his girlfriend or assistant or both maybe is trying to talk him out of this, and Batman goes to talk to him and finds out that this guy is nutso, and he goes to Commissioner Gordon and says, we got to take this guy down, and he goes up to the fights his way to the top of the castle or the building, and finally is able to stop him, and then he gets locked up into Arkham, and for some reason he thinks that that's Olympus. What'd I tell you? I knew I could do it. Not a good sign for the episode.
To the depths of Tartarus with you!
Most of this episode doesn't even look familiar to me. I didn't even know that this existed. I didn't know that this was a villain. I had to look it up after I watched it, that this is an actual villain from the comics. I think in the late 70s he came out. Maxi Zeus is his name. I do have to say it's kind of neat that in the animated series that they're kind of pulling into the archives and pulling some of these lesser known villains. But what a strange concept for a villain. This criminal mastermind believes that he is the Greek god Zeus, and he's kind of created his own Olympus to live out of. Apparently because he has enough money, he's got enough people around him that go along with the charade.
You bore me with these tales of petty human concerns.
You're doing it again, Maxie.
In the description that I found in the comics, they say he's a criminal mastermind. In this, he doesn't seem to be. He seems like a bad businessman that is running into a stream of bad luck, and he's decided to use his company to help the mob. It seems like he's just working for other mobsters and not really doing his own work.
Business got bad and he started handling cargo for the mob.
I will say that one of the kind of shaky things about this whole plot, so the whole mystery of who's doing this crime and where to find him doesn't exist in there. They know he's the one that's shipping for the mob, and they know exactly where his building is. It's the giant building with Olympus built on top of it. And Batman goes right there. He just flies to the top. In fact, he's not even well guarded because Batman flies right to the rooftop and talks to him. So if that isn't bad enough, now maybe because of the mob, it's hard to pin something on him. I mean, that's not uncommon. But then he shoots down the police blimp. I would say that would be probable cause to go arrest him.
Feel the wrath of Zeus, thou insignificant!
Max, what have you done? You could have killed someone.
And truly, I think that this episode existed to be able to pit Batman against this Greek god. And so there is some neat elements when Batman's kind of working his way up through the building to get to him. Again, I feel like it's a big missed opportunity that, they could have really worked their layers up through that. Again, another shaky part of the episode is Batman originally just flew to the top of there. Why he's going up through the building or needed to be snuck in by his assistant, I don't know.
You're the only one who can get me close enough to help him.
But the fighting of the snakes and fighting the warthog or the boar or whatever it was, that was kind of cool. And the gargoyles with the guns for eyes. Pretty neat. As far as an action element, it was kind of cool. But I got to say, the story was a little weak. And when he does finally fight Zeus, he wasn't that much of a threat, even though this guy is really jacked. Batman just picked him up, threw him into a table, and then all he had left was his lightning bolt, which ultimately was his demise. Like I said at the beginning, this episode doesn't look familiar to me at all, which typically there are episodes that I don't remember as well, or I don't remember what happens, or there was components of them that escaped me. There's no spots of this episode that even remotely look familiar, except for the one spot where Batman is throwing the lightning bolt. That seems strangely familiar, but I'm like, why would I remember that and no other elements of the episode? And the only thing I can think of is that, and if you know, let me know, but I'm thinking that shot of Batman throwing the lightning bolt might have been used in some of the WB promotions or in some of the previews or clips of the episodes that were used, because I don't know why I would remember that and not that the god Zeus was in the episode.
Hold! The words of the gods are not for the ears of mere muses.
And probably my favorite part of the episode is at the end when he is taken to Arkham. One, it's kind of interesting to hear him talking about now he's finally home, that he's found his true Olympus, and is naming off all the villains that we see, Poison Ivy and Two-Face and the Joker, and naming them off as characters from mythology, is kind of neat. And so that part of the episode was really strong.
Now at last, mighty Zeus is home.
So when it comes time to rank this episode, obviously I have no nostalgic feelings towards it because obviously I don't remember anything about it. So just looking at it strictly on a character, story, performance, animation sense, it really doesn't stack up against a lot of the other episodes. The story was sort of weak. The character I didn't think was that strong. I'd be interested to read some of the comics that he's in to see if he's depicted a little bit stronger in the comics, because in this he really wasn't. He just seemed like an insane guy that thought he was Zeus. Wasn't really a big threat to Batman, and I would have wanted to see him use a bit more of the Greek mythology elements to try to fight Batman. So as I look down through the list, it really fell pretty close to the bottom. So I ended up putting it at the number 47 spot of my favorite episodes so far. It falls below Never Too Late because that is, as many issues and problems that I have with that episode, it is a nice story. It is kind of a neat story about the exchange of power between these two mobsters. But I've got it beating out Appointment in Crime Alley because that one there was just nothing happening. It felt like it was trying to be a more engaging story and it just missed the mark entirely.
Now, this is truly Olympus. Surely it can be no other place.
So I gotta know, what do you know about this villain, Maxi Zeus? Have you seen him in the comics or seen him in other shows or games or anything like that? Because really, this is brand new for me. I feel like I completely went into this blind of this episode. Let me know in the comment section below some of your thoughts or what you know about this villain. Well, here we are. This has been the last episode of the first season of Batman the Animated Series. So I'm going to be coming out with a video here next week, kind of recapping the first season. I want to collect all my thoughts and look at my full list of episodes for the first season and give you some of my kind of overall thoughts of the first season in a separate video. So I'm going to save that for then. And then I'll also talk about how I'm going to proceed for the second season and third and fourth season and so on. So keep your eyes peeled for that. If you enjoyed this episode, please just hit that like button. I always enjoy seeing those. And if you want to see me review more episodes, just hit the subscribe button and I'll keep churning them out. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'm Andy Knode, and I'll see you soon.